NASM. Hey guys, so this is going to be a second video in the series of working with NASM. So what I'm going to be showing today is looping through a string. So first let's hop into the Python shell and I'll give you an example of what this might look like in Python. So we might get something that we do a for loop and we'll say for each character C in some string. And in this case, we'll just call it sample string. And we'll go into the body of that loop. And again, we'll just print out that character. So we get sample string all on new lines printed out for us, just as we expect. So just like before, I have the files available to me that'll make this a lot easier for us. I'll just make it clean from the last tutorial, and I will hop into the loops file. So I've done some modifications to the loops file over the last tutorial. In this case, we're going to be looking at having a string, and notice the terminating character is 0. And the rest of the loop body is just a simple ASM with our entering routine and our exiting routine, just like last time. So let's go ahead and get started. So just like before, we're going to want to define the top part of our loop and the bottom part. In this case, we'll call it for char and end for char. Right, so just like before, we have somewhere that we're going to go once we end our loop, and somewhere where our looping begins with all of our logic. So what we need to do here is we'll take our string, string 1, and we'll move it into one of the registers so that we're able to work with it directly. So let's put it into the RBX register, right? And then we can start looking into how are we going to actually move through this string. So right now we have a block sitting in the RBX register that in this case is some character S, and then some character A, and then some character M, and so on, right? So we need a way to actually walk through that string, and we'll check each time what character we have. And our big difference here from the for loop in range is our comparison is checking whether or not we've hit this 0 character, right? So what might this look like if we were going to code it out? So first of all, we'll move into the AL register because we're working with bytes. We'll move into the AL register the byte of RBX. So this is going to put the address of the first byte of RBX into our AL register, right? So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to compare for this end character, right? So we're going to say compare AL to 0. We want to see, have we hit that end character, and is that what's in our register right now or not, right? So if it is, and we're equal to 0 in that register, then we're done, and we're going to exit this loop. Otherwise, now we have some character somewhere along our string stored in the AL register. So all we need to do is work with that character however we want. In this case, we'll call the print char, and just like last time, we'll print a new line. And then to move to the next character, since we're working with bytes, all we need to do is increment our RBX register, right, by 1. So we can just increment RBX, and this will move RBX's pointer 1 spot in memory, right, 1 byte. And then we'll just jump back to the top of the loop, and we'll loop through the loop again. So basically what we're doing, to recap, is we move our string into a register so that we can work with it a little easier. And then we move the first byte of the string into the lower register of REX, and we compare that to the value 0, which is our terminating character. And if it is 0, we've hit the end of the string, so we need to exit the loop. And if it's not, then we'll print a char and a new line. Then we'll move to the next character in the string, and we'll go back and check the loop again. So let's go ahead and save this, and we'll make it, and we'll execute it. And just like that, we get the same output as we did in our Python script.